filming the drum set in front of a green screen. Now that is a pain in the ass. We did it 3 times overall. The first time we did just some test shots and there wasn't much acting from the drummer, so I couldn't really use these. So later the second time we wanted to do it for real. And we did pretty much everything wrong you can do wrong there. The lighting was just horrible. There was so much spill from the green screen on the cymbals that Keylight really filtered out the cymbals completely. I could not use this material at all. So we had to do it a 3rd time. And you see, every time it is back in the lights, the green screen, the camera and all the other stuff, bring it to the drum set, build it up, do the filming, pack it in again, and then check the material. So the 3rd time, I first did some tests with the blue screen instead of the green screen, but this wouldn't work any better, no. So we used the green screen again. I built that one up again, and this time we got it right. And these are my tips for you if you want to film your drum set in front of a green screen. Now, first, try to move the drum set away from the green screen as far as possible, so that it won't cast the shadows, but try to move it away as far as possible, because the further you get away, the less spill comes off the green screen. Second, try to light the background from the bottom, not from the top, because if you light it from the top, this will cause spill on the cymbals. And I could somehow get a spot behind the drummer chair and light it from the bottom, which worked pretty well. Then number 3, that was the idea of my drummer Tim, and we had a floor lamp there in the room which had a more golden bronzish light, and we were able to put this above the whole setup so that we had this golden shine on the cymbals from the top, which made them really shine more golden realistically. That was very nice. Then number 4 is in post-production. Make a 2nd layer of the drum set, then mask the cymbals and just set it off slightly to the right and to the top or left and to the bottom, whatever you like, so that the spots that get filtered out too much are overlaid by the 2nd layer. Number 4 and finally number 5, check the post-production on location. Don't do the whole filming process, then go home and check the material and see, I cannot use this shit. No, make the setup, test it, then look at the post-production if everything works. Make sure that everything works, and when you're sure, then start filming. And not the other way around. So, these are the tips I have for you if you want to film your drum set in front of a green screen. And to finish this up, I'll just let Tim and me pack in the whole stuff, and you'll see how much fun that is. The transformation. Okay, for that I actually had my hair bleached and I put on this funky glitter costume. And I want to show you how I overlay these 2 images of the king and the funky glitter boy and which effect I use to get these two images to fit perfectly. Okay, going to After Effects for this. And here we have the image of the king in the background, and actually two images right here for the glitter costume. And one of them is just a duplicate of the other with a glow effect on that to make this blue glow there. And I'll turn off one of the layers so we can switch between them better. Now you see what I used here is this mesh warp effect, and you find it in an effect, distort mesh warp. And what you can really do with this is just warp your image to any direction you want and just make it fit to whatever you want to make it fit to. And if I deactivate this, you will see that the images won't really fit together. And so you see this mesh warp is a very powerful tool to make images fit. And you can really do the crankest shit with your image with this. Now, great tool really. Then one more thing. I won't go into the whole lighting thing here, but the lighting from above is actually I got this from a tutorial from Videocopilot, and you will find this in tutorial number 77, the soul removal. And I can't say it often enough, videocopilot.net, the best site for After Effects there is on the internet. All hail Andrew Kramer. Okay, I wanted to show you another thing in this scene, but I have to open another After Effects project for that. Okay, this scene I wanted to show you to make the transformation complete. Now here we have the flying V flying in from above. And well, that basically is, if I double click on this layer, you see it's just me in the green suit holding the guitar and then moving the guitar in After Effects afterwards. And at this point here we have this beautiful lens flare on it, which is really just, you find it in, I don't know where you find it. I have to check this here. Lens flare is in generate. Okay, you find it in effect generate lens flare. And I just keyframed the flare brightness here to make this shiny effect. And oh, here you see the real Pentaman, by the way. Okay, now in this scene, in the next shot, of course we have the, no, not this one, the guitar and me separately. And but then in the next transition, which I think works pretty well here, we got to have it in one shot. And the problem is the basement where I shoot all this has a height of 2 meters and 20 or 7'3", if you will. And so I can't be standing there with the guitar above me. So what did we do? I deactivate the key light, and I will deactivate the main mask. And there you go. I was just kneeling and my buddies were bringing down the guitar on me. And now again you see this mask path here, crazily keyframed, really frame by frame, to get all their little body parts out of the picture. And actually I had to have 3 more masks that subtract certain parts of the image. So that was a lot of work. Yeah, and turning it back on. But now it's too late. I have deconstructed this secret, and I'm slowly deconstructing all the secrets that I have. Not very smart of me, right? So, as the throne room falls apart, I of course need every object on a separate layer here so I can animate them separately on the timeline. Now you would think this is not a problem, since I already have these layers in my original Photoshop document and I just need to export some PNG files. But no, because it may be true for these, for the pillars and the curtains, but once I deactivate this stage and throne here, you see what the problem is. Now, a minor problem is that I have to divide up the lighting layers here, but the major problem is that when the stage is deconstructed, there are areas being revealed that are not even in the picture. So I have to really create these from scratch. So I made a copy of this document and had to bring in these floor layers here. Now, first of all, we have this help layer here that puts in the back of the floor, and then also this is totally flat here, the floor. So I had to put in these layers that are just giving the floor a little depth once the pedestal disappears. And I also got problems with the lightings at these parts here, so I had to make another document here to cover up these little errors. And you see, you start with an idea and you think, yeah, I'm just gonna make a couple of more layers and can pull this off. But then you quickly realize that you have to somehow do a gazillion more layers, and you see these are all the layers that I had to animate separately in order to deconstruct this throne room. So those were a bunch, and as we go into After Effects, we see one more problem, because we are not in a 3D environment here anymore. This is actually two-dimensional now, and that means every layer that is on top of another layer is hiding this layer. So at points like these, when my bandmates on the side disappear, they have to be on top of this background layer of the floor, which is, I think, this one here, but they have to be beneath these layers in the front, and so I had to make two layers that I had to put at the very top of the project here to cover them up. And yeah, that was really the problem here, that you had a lot of layers that you had to animate separately in order to get this right. And then at the end, I'm the last man standing, and at this point I once again used the mesh warp effect that we discussed earlier here to really fit myself to my other self in the image that is being revealed, as you can see here. And now, as all these objects have disappeared, we finally have this final scene, which is actually the only scene that was not shot in front of a green screen. And once again, I'm heading over to myself from this time 5 months ago in another documentation within the documentation.
Documentation within the documentation. Yeah!
Alright, I'm shooting the only outdoor scene I have, which is actually the last scene of the video. And I think I found a pretty nice spot right around the neighborhood with fields and stuff, so I can run into the horizon. And actually, this is pretty much the last day I can do this scene, because it's gonna be harvest time, I guess even tomorrow. So I gotta wrap it up today. I'm just waiting for the sun to come out to make it beautiful. So, come out, you fucking bitch. Turn the fuck on, stupid son. Stupid biker. Oh man. Fuck. Stupid biker. Well, fuck me. They're really starting today. Jesus. Look at that. On a fucking Sunday, do you believe that? I better hurry the fuck up. God, move away, It's free. Okay. Take another one right away.
Documentation within the documentation. Yeah!
Okay, and that is the end of this documentary. And I just want to add a couple of things here in general. Now, as you might have seen in this video and in the old clown video before, I pretty much do 95% of everything on my own, the filming in particular. And that is not because I choose it to be, it's just because most of my friends, they are moving on with their lives and they are not stuck at the age of 15 in their heads like I am. And so I'm kind of the kid left behind here, the bearded kid left behind. But on the upside of that is that it gives you a lot of liberty when you are working alone. You can work your own tempo, your own schedule. You can reshoot a scene 500 times if you don't like it, and you're not, oh, I think people are getting impatient. No, if you don't like it, you can just reshoot it as often as you want and don't have to care about anybody that you are boring with this. You can try the most stupid, the silliest shit that you wouldn't normally dare trying, but since you're alone, you can just do anything, and if it's just stupid, then you delete it. And if it's good, as you didn't think it would be, then you can use it. And of course, the most important thing is you have absolute free creativity. You can do whatever you want. You can take what's in your head and try to do that, and you don't have to compromise anything, because I'm very bad at compromises. I'm pretty much an egomaniac, and if I want something done a certain way, then I want it done that way and not any other. I could have problems with that in the future if I ever work with people. Yeah, of course the downside is that when you do it all alone, you have to finance it all alone, and believe me, I'm not the richest motherfucker in town here. But this limit on the budget really is an opportunity as well, because when you don't have that much money, you just have to be much more creative to get the stuff in your head in the open. And I think if you have too much money, it's too easy and it blocks the creative process. If you really have to think hard how to do a scene, then you start thinking, you're always on your toes, you're always on the edge of your seat, to use more stupid metaphors here. Yeah, but I think that really helps the creativity, and I think it's a big problem for directors once they go Hollywood. Many directors turn to shit then, because there's no challenge left, and they don't have to think that hard anymore. You have many directors like John Carpenter, who was great till the 90s. After that, just bullshit. I have to say Robert Rodriguez. He really did some cool little movies with little budget at the beginning of his career, and yeah, then after From Dusk Till Dawn, yeah, he pretty much only did shit. I mean, Spy Kids, what is that? That is the perfect example for too much money that goes into shit that nobody wants to see. So I really think, and don't get me wrong, if somebody gives me a lot of money to do shitty movies, I would do that immediately. But I'm just saying, I'm pretty content with the situation right now, and with a little low budget that I have to work with, because it keeps you on your tippy toes. Okay, now the last thing I want to say is what I would do differently in the future if I shot another movie, like another video like that. I'm not quite at movies yet. What I would do differently is I would do much more test shots in the beginning, and just not use all the costumes, not use all the lights to save energy, and just do test shots to see if they work. Then do a whole editing process, a whole run through the editing to see what works, what doesn't work, and really start the shooting only when I'm totally sure that I know what I'm doing with every single scene. And that saves a lot of money, saves a lot of time, but time is money, so whatever. That saves a lot of time, and also it's much better to compress all the real shooting into a couple of days, a weekend, or a week tops, because you have the main problem of continuity with hair, beard, and, as I had to see now in this one, skin color, because the first shots I did in April and the last shots I did in August, and these were 4 months of summer sun on my skin, so I was really getting problems at the end of the video, because especially my arms and my face, of course, but you can hide that with makeup. You can also hide the arms with makeup, but it's kind of stupid if you wrap your whole body in makeup, I guess. So yeah, I was distracted now with skin color. Oh, I'm a racist. No, just kidding. Yeah, but especially hair and beard, because I had to maintain the same beard length throughout the video, and that meant I had to shave at the same. If I wanted to shoot at a weekend, I had to shave at a certain day in order to get my beard right for the weekend. And the hair problem is obvious. If you don't have, if you're not bald, then you have a problem that your hair looks different every time. Now, we could all get bald and clean shaved, but that would be kind of boring, I guess. Yeah, that is what I would do differently. Really compress all the shooting into one weekend, if possible. Yeah, that is, I guess, what I wanted to say, and that is the end of this documentary. And we're all sad. All the millions of viewers who watched this are very sad because this documentary is coming to an end. But you might see in the back that my room kind of changed, and that's what I was doing in the past weeks and months, was redecorating this whole bedroom into a music studio. And that will be my next video in a couple of weeks when I've edited that. And if anybody gives a fuck about that, which I don't think so, but I'm gonna upload it anyways. So that was it. Bye for now. See ya and take care. Yeah.
scenes. Behind the scenes.